Hey, welcome back to the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, your clarity cultivator and founder of BeFree Project. I help women who are ready to flourish, feel fulfilled, and be free to show up for themselves. I am extremely passionate about community, sisterhood, and personal growth. So if that's your jam, you are in the right place. And now let's get into the show. Hey, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here for another week of inspiration and motivation, teaching you what it means to really show up for yourself. This week, I am loving a very simple but meaningful affirmation, and it is I love my life, all of it. And if you've been listening to me on the gram, I've been saying this a lot lately, is that I really, really love my life. And I haven't always felt this way, but this season that I'm in, that's all I have is like I love the life that I get to live every single day. And I appreciate every single moment because it's teaching me so much about myself, about others, and just how I choose to show up every single day. And so I'm reciting this affirmation day in and day out. I love my life. And not only saying it, but believing it in every aspect of it, like really believing in my heart that I love my life. And I feel like it's exciting me every single day because it's something that I'm speaking with purpose, with intention. And again, I genuinely mean it. All right, so now this is going to kind of segue or lead me into today's topic, which is 7 lessons that I learned from my year of growing and healing. And I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while, but I had to take time to really reflect and make sure that I was really processing all of it. So if you've been following the podcast for a little bit, then you know 2019 was my year of healing and growth. I'm going to kind of share the 7 key takeaways that I learned from 2019, and I'm hoping that it will empower you in some kind of way. And then I would love for you to share your lessons with me on this particular post when you see it on Instagram, and you can follow me at BeFree Project. And let me know what's the biggest lesson that you learned about yourself last year. So here we go. Number one, we're going to start with my mother wounds. My mother was missing out of my life for 23 years, and I can already feel the emotions coming up here, which I'm surprised, but okay, it's all good. And so, yes, she was missing out of my life for 23 years. I stopped living with her when I was a teenager and hadn't really had any communication with her for a very long time. Then I would say maybe back in 2018, she started coming around a little bit more to spend time with my grandmother and my aunts. And so it was not easy to avoid seeing her at this point because I visit my grandmother. And so this was a little bit triggering to me because for a very long period of my life, she wasn't present. So it was easy to kind of work on my healing journey, but yet not have to address her, if that makes sense. And so as she became more present, the inner child, little Siobhan, was triggered. She was very confused in what to feel. Like the logical part and the adult part of me knew, this is just the reality of our relationship. However, the inner child in me was like, what is going on? And I had to be honest and be okay with what I was feeling and let little Siobhan know that she was fine, that she was safe. So the thing is, when you have to face the person who hurt you, it is not always easy. And so I had to really, again, mother my inner child with lots of positive self talk. And with her being more present in my life, I realized that I had to do more healing work because I had done a lot in therapy over the years. But again, at that time in my life, I didn't have her present. So it was almost like a new chapter of healing that had to take place, which led me to creating the Motherless Child Guidebook. And initially, when I recorded the episode about the motherless child several months ago, it came at a time after I was deeply triggered on Mother's Day last year. And I needed an outlet to kind of share. And so that's when I recorded the episode, not realizing, and to this day, I'm still getting so many messages from women all over the world thanking me for that episode, that they felt like they were the only ones who had mother issues. They couldn't understand why they couldn't get past them and all of the things. And I was creating that resource to offer support for women who were also healing or starting to heal or needed to heal. And at the same time, I had to go back and heal myself. And in the beginning, I was frustrated because I'm like, I've already done all of this work. Like, why am I having to revisit this? But it was so necessary for me to identify the toxic relationship that we have, accept where we're at today, start to mother the inner child, acknowledge my wounds, and then create a new narrative for myself. And that is everything that I talk about and then some in the Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds. And so if you want a copy of that, especially if you're someone who needs to start the healing journey, or you started it and you need additional support, all you need to do is go to themotherlesschild.com. The link will always be in my show notes. And so the lesson that I learned from that is that the healing journey continues. There will be moments where things make me uncomfortable. That's okay. Not to hide my feelings. And also, I had to remind myself over and over and over again that I can do hard things, that healing is ongoing, and I have to be kind and gentle with myself in the process of my healing. And that was huge for me last year. And I'm still working through it. But for the most part, I would say I've been doing really, really good. And the reason that I had to deal with the mother wounds so deeply last year is because they were affecting my life and they were affecting my business. And I didn't really see it until I started doing the inner work and realizing that the reason that I wasn't fully showing up in my company, the reason that I wasn't fully showing up for myself was because there was still healing that needed to be done. And so, again, I'm being kind and gentle with myself and knowing what I need when I need it. And it's okay to feel how I feel, and that everybody will not understand unless you're someone who has your own mother wounds. Number two, which this was something that was really hard for me too, is that I had to end a friendship that was so dear to my heart. And I grieved all last year, I would say, because I never saw this ending of the friendship coming. And I was literally heartbroken. I've never been heartbroken in my life in this particular way. And I know it's because the way that I viewed this friendship was more like a sister, and I'm an only child. And so, with that being said, just imagine if you have a sibling and that relationship is no longer, how your heart would feel. And I now know that that relationship had to end the way that it was in order for me to get where I'm at today. The things that I'm about to share with you, I wasn't able to see it until the friendship ended. And then I was challenged to do a lot of reflection on how I showed up and how I was present and how I cheated myself as a result of caring more about this person in some ways than I cared about myself. And so I trusted their opinion more than my own. At times, I felt that they knew better for me than I did. I thrived off of their validation. And again, at times I put their needs before my own. And again, I wasn't able to see this until I was out of it. And then it challenged me to think, whoa, you were not valuing yourself the way that you needed to. And I believe also, with me being an only child on my mother's side, is that I value friendships a lot. I am extremely loyal. And for a long time, especially in my teens and 20s, I accepted a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have accepted. But the thing is, I held on to these relationships because of my mother wounds and my abandonment issues. And so when things were said or things were done, oftentimes I will ignore them or push them to the side and just deal with them on my own because I didn't want to lose anyone else. Because when you go through such a painful experience with losing your mother and your father never being present, when you do meet good people that you love, you tend to hold on to them so tightly and you will sacrifice a lot of yourself so that you don't lose them. But that's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. And again, I wasn't able to see that until the friendship ended. And so, my lesson that I learned is that it definitely was a spiritual breakup. So, I'm able to get to know myself and make me a priority. And I've been doing a beautiful job with really listening to myself, showing up for myself, showing up in my marriage, showing up in other friendships, because now I understand how I wasn't doing that fully before. And then I've also learned, and I've said this plenty of times, but this has showed up in my own life, that people can be in your life for a season, and that's okay. I genuinely love my friend. I wish her nothing but the best. She was amazing in my life, and she will always hold a special place in my heart. But I feel like we're in this season where we've outgrown each other, and I'm learning to be okay with that. And in this season that I'm in, my glow up season, I am owning my power and I'm making me a priority. Grief can come in many different forms. It's not just limited to death, but you can grieve a breakup with a friend, you can grieve a loss of a job, you can grieve a change to a new environment. I mean, there's many different facets of grief. And I know I've promised you an episode. I'm still trying to process my way through that. But for now, just know that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to hurt. I don't want you to stay in that space, but your feelings are real. Your feelings are valid. And that's okay. Number three is be ready for the universe to respond when you put what you want out in the world. On March 21st, which is my birthday, I said out loud to myself and a few people that 2019 would be my year of growth and healing. In that moment, I felt that is what I needed in order to progress and get to the space that I needed to be in my life. However, I did not know how quickly the universe was going to respond to me. Exactly 7 days later is when everything started crumbling. And I was like, OMG. And as I noticed thing after thing after thing kept happening, I feel like it was just piling up. And it was heavy. I mean, it really was heavy. And there were days when I woke up from my sleep crying from sadness because my heart was broken. But this is the thing. I said, I spoke this into existence that I wanted to grow and heal. And I was really, really serious about that. And so I decided to take it all in. I chose to never give up. that every time something happened, I would go to my journal and write about it. I would talk to people who I felt safe with. I would be vulnerable. I would again be honest with my feelings, and that I was going to learn everything that I needed to learn as I faced thing after thing after thing. So I took time again to reflect. I cried, I journaled, I prayed, I meditated, and most importantly, I stayed grounded because I knew this was a part of my journey that I chose and that I needed. So the lesson is to trust the process. Everything is always working out for my good, always, always. Number four, I'm going to touch back on something that I mentioned earlier is that I can do hard things. I can do hard things. In the beginning of this year, I announced that I was hosting the Girl Be Free retreat, the very first one, and I was excited about it. And then a little bit into it, I was like, this is not the right business decision right now. There were just so many things that were happening that were outside of my control. I was frustrated, but I ended up postponing it and pressing pause because there's no way in the world, y'all, that I would have been able to put on a retreat last year with all of the personal and business stuff that I was dealing with. And so I now know that that was the best decision to postpone it. I do plan to have it in the near future, but there's some things that I need to get situated within my company so that way everything flows exactly the way I want to. But every day I write down in my Start Today journal, I am going to host annual Girl Be Free retreats worldwide. So I'm already speaking it into existence and I'm really excited about that. So my lesson is to do things my way, period. I don't have to look to the left and to the right of what other people are doing, but I always do what's best for myself and what's best for my company. And at the end of the day, I have to be proud with my decisions. So I want to pause right now and encourage you to download the 5-day guided writing practice to emotional freedom. It is my latest project that I'm so proud of, and it's designed to help women start to do the inner work to free themselves. I am a huge journaler. I don't know if journaler is a word, but I love to journal. And I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. And the way that I began to free myself was through my words and through writing. And so I wanted to create something for my audience to help you start to do the inner work yourself, to help you free yourself from fear, free yourself from people pleasing, free yourself from making excuses, freeing yourself from self doubt so you can free yourself to say yes to your dreams. And it is a beautiful digital workbook that I want you to print out with writing prompts that's going to guide you through each section, as well as audio messages from yours truly that is going, again, to guide you as you work through each section. And it's absolutely free. The link is in my show notes, so make sure you download it. When you do, share the link with a friend or two. Also, snap a picture and tag me at BeFree Project on Instagram so I can see it. I know you're going to enjoy it, and I cannot wait to hear about your journey. All right, number 5, I can trust myself and I know what's best for me. For so many years, I relied on validation from other people. And I know in part it's because I didn't get the validation from my mother. Um, our relationship, she was emotionally unavailable for me, and she wasn't able to give me what I needed. So I sought that out in other relationships when I should have been seeking it out in myself. And there were times when, again, I believed other people knew what was best for me. And so I didn't trust my voice. I didn't trust my thoughts. I didn't trust my words. And so I'm learning now that I can trust myself. And the lesson is I know what's best for me. Number 6, and this is a big one, I'm learning to own and listen to my inner voice and honor it. I have become more self aware over the last year. And the more that I listen and I'm in tune with my inner voice, the louder it gets. And as I'm obedient and I'm listening, I'm reaping the benefits of that. One thing in particular is that whenever I'm feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, my inner voice says to sit still. And so that is what I do. I sit still. Sometimes I'm in complete darkness. I may put a blanket over me, and I just need to slow down my mind and just be with myself in silence, even if it's just for a few minutes. And that has been really, really good for me. And I'm doing that more and more throughout the day or whenever I feel a need for it. The lesson is not to ignore my inner voice, no matter what it's telling me, like to honor it. And even if sometimes it's a negative thought, switching it to something positive, and if it's guiding me to do something, making sure that I'm listening and being aware. Number 7, and this is the last one, is that I am freaking amazing. I'm going to say that again. I am freaking amazing. And I need to give myself more credit for the amazing person that I am. There has been times where I have dimmed my light so that other people could feel comfortable, so that other people wouldn't think I'm too much or too this or too that. And now I'm like, forget all of that. I am going to show up and be my full, authentic self with all of the confidence because I am here to do amazing work to help change the lives of women all over the world. And that means that I have to show up. I have to take up space. I have to be bold. I have to be confident. I have to be unapologetically myself, every little piece of it. And not just in my company, but in my home. Like I have to use my voice, I have to speak up for myself, and I have to be myself. I get to change lives every single day, and that is an amazing place to be in. And in order to do that at the level that God has already spoke on my heart, I got to show up. I got to let my light shine bright. I can't minimize the work that I'm doing. I have to fully show up. And I'm amazing. I am an amazing human being. Like, I am the bomb. Like, and I'm going to own that space, you know? And as a result of acknowledging that I am amazing, my marriage is thriving, my kids are great human beings, and I'm the stuff, y'all. I am the ish. And so, my lesson in this is to take up space, take up all the space that I'm in. Whatever room that I'm in, I'm supposed to be there. Always let my light shine bright and fully show up as my most authentic self and never, ever, ever dim my light for anybody. So, those are my lessons that I learned for 2019. Because I set the intention that last year would be my year of growing and healing, you may remember me saying several times that after this year, I am going to be walking in my glow up season. I spoke that into existence. Literally, I manifested that. And from the time that January hit, my life has been on this amazing ride. You know, I talked about the Rise conference. I mean, there's been so many amazing things that have happened in this only February that I spoke the glow up season into my life. And as I'm continuing to experience things, I will continue to share them here on the podcast, as well as my videos that I put up on Instagram. Make sure you're following me there. I post videos weekly to inspire women to show up each day for themselves. So, your action step this week, if you have not done so, take time to think about the lessons that you learned from 2019 about yourself And I would love for you to share your lesson with me on Instagram. I'm at BeFree Project. You can also find me on Facebook at BeFree Project. You can shoot me an email. My email is in the show notes, but I would love to hear from you. All right, y'all. The Be Free Meetup is coming up really soon, and I would love to see you there. It is a community where women connect and grow with one another. It is a space where you will make meaningful connections and have inspiring conversations that will support you on your personal growth path. I want you to come from wherever region you're at. This is not just limited to Cleveland, Ohio, even though that's where the event is taking place. You can come from anywhere to come hang out with me. I am excited about it. I have invested in this particular event and the events to come to really create an experience for the women. You will be blown away, especially if you're looking for community, sisterhood, and to be surrounded by positive, like minded women and energy. It is a space for you. Grab your ticket today at befreemeetup.eventbrite.com. Limited seating is available, only a few tickets left. Again, the website is befreemeetup.eventbrite.com. Finally, the Be Free Inner Circle is my exclusive community of women who are showing up and doing the work. At this time, the community is closed. You can join the waitlist at BeFreeInnerCircle.com. And it is your community for real sisterhood, where you have a virtual community of women that you can also connect with in real life to get the support you need to really show up for yourself. We have so many exciting things coming up. We have live chats every single month. We have a book club. We have curated content, support, and discussions that's really designed to help women live their best lives. I would love for you to come join us. And again, you can join at BeFreeInnerCircle.com. And lastly, if you're enjoying the Girl Be Free podcast, share it with a friend. You can snap a picture and tag me at Be Free Project on social. You can text the link to the episode or the podcast to your friends. Again, share it out with whomever you like. And thank you so much in advance because I appreciate your support. And until next time, girl, be free.